Hello, everyone. I hope you're having the most wonderful day. I wanted to come on here this last day of December as an encouragement. Maybe some of you are thinking, there's a lot of things that didn't happen this year that I was hoping would. Maybe 2026 will be my year. Well, first, I want to say nothing is ever lost. When you do something in love or when you're planting seeds for success, never think of not having in the moment being something that's saying you're not going to get it. Remember, there is a law of sowing and reaping. And some things come into our lives quickly. So you might sow a bean, and as you sow a bean, within a few weeks, you have beans growing, right? Or you might sow something else like maybe it's a potato, and it takes a little longer before you get more potatoes in your life. Or maybe it's something that creates blessings like a walnut tree or a coconut tree, right? So what do those kinds of things look like? Maybe they're really big, they're beautiful, they're meaty. As you think about the law of sowing and reaping, remember always when you're sowing things that you will reap a harvest for the things that you sow. So never look at something as it's in vain. Also, as you're going through your life, maybe there's some areas in your life you're like, oh, yeah, but there's some things that I know I wish I had done better with in my life. There's nothing wrong with looking at our life and asking ourselves, what would we like to release before we move into the next year? Pruning is amazing. The Word of God talks about pruning. So there's nothing wrong with going through and looking at the branches of our life that are no longer serving us and going through and pruning them. When you have a beautiful rose bush and there's one of the branches are all messed up, you don't go tear the whole rose bush up. You go and prune that rose bush so that it creates more roses on the bush. You don't go tear yourself down. You don't go tear up a relationship. You look at the areas that need some work and you work on those areas. So I want to encourage you, if you haven't already, sit down and take accountability of all the beautiful blessings that you've received this last year. Blessings maybe you asked for, maybe they're blessings that you worked for, maybe they're just blessings that just came. And give yourself permission to have gratitude and thankfulness for the things that have occurred in your life. And then take a look with the things that you would like to release in your life. What no longer serves you. Write those things out. Maybe it's procrastination. Maybe it's unhealthy eating. Maybe it's moving away from relationships instead of working on a relationship. Anything can be an area that creates a block to blessing. Maybe it's cleaning out a storage area that's got too much stuff that's just junk that you don't really need or want. Making room for those blessings. And then write out some simple goals and steps, things that you would like in your life, and then create some little intentions for each week to make those better. My husband and I actually did this the other night for several areas. One for our relationship, and we kept some things that are great for us that we love, like having date night, having devotions. And then we added some areas that we would like to have more of. And one of those was to have couples date nights. So the other was family get-togethers at least once a month. So we added our family goals in there, things that we were doing more like when holidays come, but we would like to be better with having them more regularly again. So it wasn't like we throw everything out. We just take the things that we know we want better and we build upon that, and we created some action steps for that. So I hope this was helpful. We also did that individually for our own self, for education, learning, and growth, and also for our spiritual areas, and also for our careers. So I encourage you to do the same. Some people hate the word New Year's resolution. It doesn't have to be a New Year's resolution. But the truth is that when you have goals written down and you place them in an area where you're looking at them regularly and you have intentions to do with them daily or regularly or weekly, depending on which one it is, then you're more apt to complete those successes. Just like if you have a goal of losing weight, you put down, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week and work out for 20 minutes a week. Or if you're someone like me who has an autoimmune issue, you put down, I'm going to work out 3 times a day for 3 to 5 minutes. So it's a lot less intense on my body, and I still get the benefits by doing things like Tai Chi, Qigong, things like that. So giving yourself permission to put those out and then put them on your planner, just like you would a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment or your work schedule. When you write those on your schedule and put those on your calendar, you're more apt to create the life you really want. I ask you to also consider praying into, God, what are some areas that you can show me how I can get better in this? When we ask those questions, God will help you to see, what could I do to make this area better in my life? Be blessed, be a blessing. My prayer for you is that your 2026 is magical and full of the most wonderful blessings. I'm so grateful and thankful for every single person who's in my life and who's ever been in my life, whether it's been a lesson or it's been somebody who is there to stay, has created blessings of relationships in my life. I'm so thankful and grateful. Blessings to you all. Till next time.